welcome to Hometown Hotspots. I'm Sarah DeRise, and I'm here today with my dear friend, Dr. Angela Schultz, a physical therapist and craniosacral specialist practicing in the north end of Eastchester. Hi, Angela.
Hi, Sarah.
Thank you so much for agreeing to do this with
Absolutely.
me today. My first question is, tell me about yourself.
Yes.
Where you're from, where you live, what's your background?
So I grew up near Saratoga, New York, and went to college in Boston, and that's where I started my career as a physical therapist. And we relocated to New York, Westchester County, when my daughter was an infant.
Okay.
In Boston.
We talked about your specialty being craniosacral therapy, and I know that you had previously practiced more traditional physical therapy. So what is craniosacral therapy for someone who has no idea what that means?
And so I've been a physical therapist for 20 years, but what I have found is craniosacral therapy really helped fill that gap in the care that I needed with people. So I love it for my pediatric population. I love it for the people with the chronic headaches and migraines and chronic pain. It just seemed to be that piece that takes someone from knowing what exercise and stretches to do to having someone to go to help facilitate the movement in that area, to help work out some of those stresses that they're holding. So in a nutshell, craniosacral therapy is just me following the rhythm of the craniosacral fluid, which also translates up to the small bones in the face and the skull that also have this subtle movement that can really hold tensions and be part of someone's chronic pain pattern.
It's really interesting. I really love the idea of unblocking. That's really kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Almost getting out of your own way. Like, let's unblock this and let it go. It's a really nice release when you have the opportunity to feel it. What kinds of ailments do you treat?
Yeah.
And secondly, what type of people should be seeking out this type of treatment?
So I do think I ended up finding craniosacral therapy because it did work for the population I was more drawn to. And I'm generally, like I said, drawn to the people who are experiencing chronic pain and conditions. And I also have always loved working with the pediatric population. So since about 5 years into my 20-year career here, I have worked with the pediatric population. But what I have found is that the craniosacral therapy is the best way to use a manual therapy with this population. Often in PT school, we're just taught the movements and exercises to do with the kids when really they're having trouble because there's a stuck segment. And so finally, this is a very specific manual therapy I can use with the babies to help them with their latch, to help them with their neck movements, to help them with their general movements. And it really, you need to be a skilled, seasoned physical therapist before you learn these more advanced techniques. So the people that often come to find me have tried the basic physical therapy. And I still do basic physical therapy with people, but it's often, let's get through this, let's figure out your exercises, and now let's get on the table. And
right. So the traditional physical therapy is sort of attending to the symptoms, whereas the craniosacral is often getting to the root of the problem.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Then allowing the traditional physical therapy, doing the exercises to build you back up.
Yeah. And there's always a piece of that traditional physical therapy that I am so grateful that I have in me. It is definitely an important foundation, but I'm glad I have the extra piece of the cranial work as well.
So how does one prepare for a craniosacral session?
Yeah. There's really nothing to do. You wear your comfortable clothes, but I do find that it's important to be open-minded. This is often a new treatment for most people. And that is why most of my referrals are word of mouth, because someone can say, oh, go see Angela, she helped me with this. And someone already has a little bit of a trust, because when trying a new treatment, if it's acupuncture, chiropractic, Reiki, craniosacral, you really need to feel that trust with that practitioner. And I fully understand you can't just be granted trust. It takes time to build. So just coming with an open mind, being able to speak with me clearly about your feelings of if you're uncomfortable, that's really helpful.
Okay. And for someone coming in, what can they expect once they lay down on the table?
Yeah. Well, first, it's going to be me doing a basic physical therapy evaluation. So similar to what you may have experienced when I'm looking at your movement, looking at your strength, and we're talking about what you're trying to get out of working with me. So we do work together, create some goals. And then when you lie down on the table, after I've completed the basic physical therapy eval, the craniosacral assessment is very light touch manual therapy. My hands are just starting at your ankles, and I'm feeling for this rhythm that helps me understand where there could be some restrictions in your body. And these are nice little clues into, oh, okay, you're not complaining about your right rib, but I really feel this restriction in this area. I'm going to stay here. And someone might say, oh, while you're working on that, my right neck has released. So there's all these other pieces of, I'm using the whole body, not just working at the specific complaint. And so I light touch all the way up through the whole body, up and ending at the head. And what someone could experience, sometimes they can feel a calmness or a lightness, or sometimes they just feel like they're laying on the table and I'm doing nothing. Everyone's experience is different.
Right.
What I say is it can take 3 to 6 sessions to feel something, but there's people who feel it immediately. And often these are people who have done types of work like this, maybe a Reiki or acupuncture, and have experienced this more systemic type treatment.
Right. A lot of it is being in tune with what your body is saying.
Yeah. And that's, I think, what, no matter what you come to me for, I find that you will leave knowing your body better. You're going to know, wow, it's this psychological stressor that's causing this or exacerbating this. Wow, it's because I keep picking up my baby this way. Wow, it's because I'm sitting in the car for 3 hours a day. So often you're able to match your symptoms with what in your day is continuing to make it chronic.
Right. That completely makes sense.
Yeah.
And I can testify to the effectiveness.
Yeah. And what I will add with babies is it really is not all that different than the way that I work with an adult. It's the same thing, a physical therapy assessment. I am working very closely with the parents about activities and movements and positions that would be helpful for the baby. And then, again, mostly manual therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and with the babies, as a former birth worker
mm-hmm.
myself, I've seen this is from birth onwards. There could be
mm-hmm.
something that happened during the birth that
mm-hmm.
affects their neck or their shoulders, or there's so many different things that just a little bit of adjustment can make the biggest difference.
Yep,
so,
absolutely. You don't always know why,
right.
But all you can say is, oh, wow, you are really tight here. These babies, they don't really have necks.
Yeah.
It's hard to,
They're pretty flat.
Yeah. So, just a little bit of intervention can really go a long way, because their exercise is just being
mm-hmm.
and playing. And so as soon as you undo something, they're going to roll around and work it out.
So my last question
mm-hmm.
is always, tell me about your favorite local spot.
Mm-hmm.
Is it shopping, dining, services, whatever?
Yeah.
We like to shout out to our locally owned businesses.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of them are just convenient, not necessarily locally owned. I mean, I do love having DeChico's and Trader Joe's and Fresh Market, Mrs. Green's all around. But my new favorite is next to Trader Joe's. It's an eatery called Adriatic. It's a Mediterranean cafe.
Okay.
A lot of more like takeout style things. So there's an app called Toast. So often I'll go to Trader Joe's. I'll put in my order on Toast. I'll get this cheese barek. It's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get myself an oat milk latte, or they have these nice teas. I'll pick up a yogurt parfait for my son and pick it up when I finish with my Trader Joe's shopping. It's a lovely new cafe. The owner is very sweet.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I might go there for lunch today.
Oh, you should.
It's right across the street from my office. So,
oh, yeah. Perfect.
I might go there too. Thank you again
mm-hmm.
today. It's always lovely to chat. And we will be continuing our January wellness in the next coming weeks. So stay tuned and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.